Hello again, YouTube. It is I, Skullface. I think I'm gonna make every entrance like that from now on. That's besides the point. I already made a video like this maybe a few weeks ago, and it was one of the first videos I did. I didn't say or do anything. I just went like, but then like I took forever to take a shot at the wall, which I don't know why I did that. I'm gonna be changing that this time around. But anyway, I'm gonna go into a little more details into what this actually is, and hopefully making a better video. This is a Berserker internals from the Ultimate Berserker, which is broken. My friend had one, then he sold me almost all of his Nerf guns. Admittedly, most of them were broken, messed up, or in the case of a belt buster, didn't have the pieces that were needed. Bastard. But I took this out of it, and I had a broken Fury Fire shell, and I Dremel drilled and just shredded the fuck out of the inside of this thing, trying to get the center cannon to fit inside of it, and it never entirely fit perfectly. I ended up having to cut away portions over here just so that it would just fit as best as possible. As you can see, it's not the cleanest thing available. I mean, I do need to have electrical tape tied up here to keep it nice and tight because I can't get that final screw to hold in place. Actually, I was able to get the screw to hold in place, but it was putting so much pressure on everything else that the trigger wouldn't work. So yeah, I mean that's probably the best thing about this whole thing is that, yes, the trigger works, which is awesome, because the biggest problem with taking this thing out is finding a really nice comfortable shell to shove it into, and I think this is the perfect size. I don't think it's as good as like a Titan Maverick integration, which is it's a harder job because I kept the original pump assembly. I mean, I was having some difficulty with the pump falling off, of course. So, can you see that? Oh yeah, you can see that there. Paper clips held on, hooked at the end, wrapped around the whole thing up with hot glue, then covered that with electrical tape, and painted the thing here black so it would match the back here and the thing there, and yeah, keeps it out there. Oh, crap! Will I do that now? The pressure's too high. I over pressurized it. There's no OVP inside of it anymore. What I did was I decked the front of the thing and hot glue. Then I covered it up with a piece of padding so that it would never get messed up by the pressure and the lubrication, which is what I've seen in other things. And so far, no problems. It's working great. I mean, the pressure actually is almost too high. Because if I have uneven barrels, like some darts will get really messed up. I mean, of course, these barrels are very even. I like this work. This was a little bit short for an absolver, but it works fairly well. I mean, center is blocked up. There is no center. That's, of course, once again, to keep it all working nice and easy. Let's see, anything else I want to know about this? Oh yeah, it's I've actually, even though I'm still thinking about calling this, it's like a handy can mod, like a handy cannon mod. I actually named my gun, even though it's not there, although it has Zastel written on the side with this epic dog tag that I got years ago. I just hot glued that on the side. I just got that because this gun is the epitome of success. I'm calling it what am I calling it now? I'm calling it Shade, with good reasoning actually. I'm calling it Shade because if anyone has watched the 300, talking about how this the arrows, how it's going to blot out the sun. Well, I had this cool idea on the forums, or just like I think someone was talking about buying like a Titan or something, and I was just like, dude, I would buy a Titan. If I had a Titan, I have enough absolvers at home that with 2 or 3 more absolvers that if I had, because I have a Cobra and I have this, I could give it to a whole squad and we could all fire them. Oh shoot, we could all fire them at once, and it would blot out the sun, and zombies would have to play inside the shade. So I'm thinking, I'm calling this Shade, and I haven't come up with any reason not to name it Shade, and I see no reason to not have a name, or just call it the Handy Can. The Handy Can, it just seems kind of lame. That just personal opinions, my mind. So yeah, that's what I'm calling it. I'm calling it calling it Shade. It's got a nice skull and crossbones Zastel tag on the side, just so people know what the score is, and works fine. I'm actually going to fire it twice this time. I have second speed loader shell, And for the record, people, anyone who says that you cannot make an absolver shell out of hot glue, I call bullshit on you, because every single one I've made, at least with the 6-shot shells, has been made with hot glue. And it's worked perfectly. I don't know what, inside the words of the almighty what Gunny what Gunny has said, of his words, what is your malfunction? Now, I don't understand why it's been so difficult, why some people just go like, they said about absolver, you have to use plumber's glue. You must use the glue. After all, hot glue is terrible for seals, and no, it's not. It works just fine, at least for these 6-round shells. And now, of course, if you're building an 18-round shell or larger, I don't know if I'd use hot glue. I probably end up using plumber's glue, simply because it would mean that I would be able to go more carefully through. With this, it's very simple. With the other huge one, you would probably want to use at least a little bit of plumber's glue. I would want to use hot glue for doing the initial binding of the barrels, but I would want to use a fresh tube of plumber's glue. Use it to plug up the base here. It's like going through all the things to make sure that it's airtight from there. Wait for it to dry, and then I'd call that, like my 18-round, cannon shell, and that is coming, by the way. I do have a Cobra, and it's linked up with these guys right now, but I see absolutely no reason why I shouldn't try at least to make a big-ass clipper that fits around the outside of it, and, upload it up on. In fact, I think I'm going to do a Cobra video after this, so, just to show off what it is right now, and at that video, I've been firing twice. 2 times. I do more times, but I've lost so many shells inside the line of duty. It's kind of annoying. Anyway. Oh yeah! Now the average range of a shell is, I don't know, depending on how straight it's cut. The straighter it's cut, the more tighter grouping you're going to have. The more random it's cut, you're going to have darts going all directions. I found it's a better idea to have your absolver shells cut as even length as possible, so you get a very nice predictable spread going through it. Because you want to have at least some semblance of accuracy. I mean, on average, when you fire this thing, you're going to hit at least one person. One person shall at least be hit every time you fire it, and that's a good advantage. I mean, if you have like a huge crowd and you know how to use this thing, have like some good experience with aiming it, it's really fun. When zombies are like doing like a big group huddle, it's always great to pull this gun out from the side and go like, and 6 darts like just rain on the zombies, and seeing people's surprised looks on their faces, when they're standing out there, and all of a sudden, like, 6 darts just come whizzing out of nowhere and drop everywhere and bounce around and slam into people. It's a warm, cuddly feeling. Not very efficient, oh mind you know. Most efficient way to go is just one swarm fire, one heavily modified swarm fire. That's the most efficient weapon you can use, and that's what I use oftentimes. I learned it's much better to use it as primary than secondary, but wasting time, have to go ahead and make another video for the Cobra, and let's call it at that.